Good morning, everyone. This is Robert Frank with the Magic12. Well, last night was an interesting night because our power went out a little after 12 and it was out for 4 hours. So it was a little weird. Got a little bit cold in here. But that's all right. Finally, about 3:30 this morning, it finally came back on, so everything seems to be okay. Um, Anyway, we'll just go ahead and get started. I'd like to get started a little bit earlier so that we can move on to the reading part of it. And we are reading, as I believe everybody knows, we're reading Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's a very interesting book. So we'll get back into reading where we left off. And we're now on page, 44. And we left off with the components of clear thinking. And so they broke it down to the word clear thinking and what each letter represented. In this case, C is for concentration, L is for longing for improvement, E is for empathy, A is for aspiration, R for relaxation, T for tapping hidden resources, H for habit of self-discipline, I is for imaginative development of willpower, N is for nostalgia, or for today, K is for knowledge of direction, I is for integrity, N for new nucleus of faith, and G for growth as a human being. So based on that, where we left off, we're going to go ahead and start with number 1. Or in this case, that would be letter C, for concentration. It is self-evident that one cannot think clearly without concentration. If one's thoughts flicker here and there, never settling to a fixed theme, obviously one's thinking will not achieve real focus. And that's, we're looking to accomplish focus with our goals in reference to what we want to do. The iconoclastic, and I'm going to spell that word just to make sure that if I'm not pronouncing it right, you'll know what it is, and that's iconoclastic. So the iconoclastic, stubborn, creative, brilliant, eccentric Yankee Henry David Thoreau spent over 2 years living alone at Walden Pond, and he credited the isolation with inspiring his concentration upon his studies and upon his thinking. Fair enough, but can you achieve a fine degree of concentration even in our hustle-bustle world of whizzing cars, blaring radios, and fanatic people, with effort, with considerable effort perhaps, but the point is that it can be done, and I might add needs to be done. Concentration is thought massed in formation, like a football line, 7 strong, gearing itself in readiness to charge an opponent, focusing on the weak point through which to charge so that the ball carrier can push through to his goal. The concentrated thinker moves forward toward his goal, head on, searching out his topic thoroughly, seeking out every possibility. In a recent book, I wrote about a young man who lived in a solitary life on a faraway island so that he could find himself, so that he, like Thor, could use solitude to find life's meaning. To repeat, this is not necessary in your reality, in the world you know, in the world that is accessible to you. Take the first step toward clear thinking. Simply learn how to concentrate. Sometimes that's not easy, but we can all do it. Take a few minutes off each day and turn off the radio, turn off the television set. Shut yourself off from intrusion as best as you can. Shake your mind free of worry and irritation and trivia. Focus on some faithful area of thinking. Then concentrate on your thinking. When distractions invade your mind, when negative feelings threaten you, fight them off as you would a bee about to sting you. Your goal is to think in the purest, most complete way possible about your subject area. This is an important project for you. Your thinking, your mental processes, these are you. So concentrate. So basically what they're saying here is we really need to learn how to concentrate. And I guess for some, it's pretty hard to do. And I would say even in my cases, many times it is. It's very difficult to do. It's kind of difficult to chase away that bee that keeps buzzing around your head. So number 2, and I'm going to go back and take a quick peek. Number 2 is L for the word clear, and that's longing for improvement. So back to reading. Number 2, longing for improvement. We all long to better ourselves. Often we point to tangible, visible goals in this quest of ours. Bank books that chart our financial gains, annual incomes that are demonstrable, shining automobiles that all can see. But in our longing for improvement, we must include the improvement in the caliber of our thinking. And again, they're going about how we think. Let me tell you a story that goes back many years to days when I was an intern in a hospital, and a harassed, overworked, sleepless one at that. Penniless too, I might add. The intern's life was not one that I could wholeheartedly recommend to those who seek the easy life. In addition to all my other troubles, such as rude awakenings in the middle of the night, when for some reason so many pregnant women seemed to give birth, I carried the extra load of a burning resentment. I utterly loathe our most skillful surgeons. I should call him Dr. B. I admired Dr. B. I admired Dr. B. How could I help but admire him? With his DEFT fingers, searching eyes, and quick thinking, he was a magnificent surgeon. But my hate for this man surged in me like a swollen river about to overflow its banks. My grievances against him ranged from a disapproval of his noisy clothes in my then impaired state. This was mostly envy, and he put that in parentheses, to an irritation at his teasing me for my shy, worshipful love of a student nurse, and to fury at his insulting my technique one time when I assisted him in an operation. To top it all off, he would come upon me in the hallway trying to eavesdrop on his telephone conversations, and he would insult me even further. My thoughts toward Dr. B were full of venom. I thought of revenge and more revenge. His insults infested my mind. They were, I thought, unforgivable. Another intern, a friend, joined in my feelings. Dr. B was, we agreed, a marvelous surgeon, but otherwise a miserable human being. Then one day, Dr. B said he'd like to talk with us. He started off by apologizing for his behavior towards us. Then he began to explain his troubles. It seems a friend had given him a sure thing tip on the stock market. He had invested heavily and been rocked for huge losses. One thing had led to another, and I listened unbelievingly to the woes of the man I had hated, the man I had looked at and weighed and found wanting. And then I realized I had never known him at all. Dr. B told us how a father of a child he had operated on had told him how we interns admired his skills as a surgeon. He had been touched by our regard and felt doubly ashamed that he had treated us so shabbily. Contrite, humble, human, he offered each of us a cigar. What a change there was after this conversation in the hospital. We interns went about our usual activities. The worst crisis seemed to summon us, sleepless from bed between midnight and daybreak. But our thinking, our feeling had improved, and drastically. If you can hold on just a second. You got to go out, Rascal? Hold on. I'm going to take a short break. My little dog, like all little beautiful little animals, has that an emergency. Keep an eye open, see when he's ready to come back in. Anyway, I'm going to jump back to reading where we left off. Speaking for myself, my resentment was now friendliness, and my self-centered irritation was now awareness. There had taken place overnight a tremendous improvement in the caliber of my thinking. Back to my point, that to move toward clear thinking, you must long for improvement. You too must have the desire to do away with the malignancy of resentment, and to improve your thinking. And again, excuse me, my little guy needs to come back in. Hold on. And I'm back again. So now we're going to go to the letter E in clear for empathy. And we will continue to read on. Number 3, empathy. We do not think clearly without empathy or orders. We do not think clearly without empathy for orders. In the story I just told about Dr. B, I, as an intern, reacted from an unrealistic, oversensitive point of view. I never cared to think about the underlying reasons that might be responsible for his harsh treatment of me. I lacked empathy. The empathetic person not only feels for others, he also listens to others. He does not just talk, he also listens to others talk. The person with empathy rises above self-centered thinking to objective, rational, many-faceted thinking, which unfortunately is not commonplace. And I think we can see that everywhere. He bursts through the bonds of blind, provincial prejudice thinking to clear thinking because he is concerned with all of mankind. Number 3 was quick and easy. Number 4 in the word clear is aspiration. Clear thinking means not only that you feel aspiration for your needs, but that you also wish to help others. Your concern for humanity reaches far beyond yourself to encompass your community, your friends, your nation. Your sense of responsibility extends beyond yourself out to all humanity. Thus, William Lord Garrison devoted his life to the aspirations of others, raising above questions of self-interest to champion the cause of the millions who in his day were slaves. Garrison ignored the abuse many heaped upon him, the length of the struggle, and his own financial impoverishment to fight for the aspirations of others. I do not suggest that you go this far in helping others, but when you concern yourself with helping others, you increase the objectivity and therefore the clarity of your thinking. Number 5 in the word clear, which is relaxation. Relaxation. This is your very own powerhouse. For in relaxation, you create a climate in your mind which will allow clear thinking to live and survive. We will deal briefly with relaxation here and go into greater detail later. But it is obvious that you do not think clearly when a tornado whips back and forth across your mind, whipping you into recurrent frenzies. Clear thinking and the self-fulfillment, it leads to grow in the soothing climate of a relaxed mind. I totally agree with that particular statement, and in my own life I have met and do know those type of people who, if you drop a pin on the floor, it could be a crisis. So I can relate to that particular chapter in regards to relaxation. Number 6, and I believe that goes into the next word, which is T. And that is tapping hidden resources. Again, back to the book. Tapping hidden resources. To know yourself is not easy. The home run hitter does not know he is a home run hitter until he hits some home runs. Until then, he may know he is muscular or that he has powerful wrist, but he does not know that he is a home run hitter. If you are able to dig into yourself and unearth thoughts and feelings which make you more real and vital to yourself, you bolster your self-image, and in doing this, increase your capacity for clear thinking. Still, you do not live alone. You must make a determined effort to tap the hidden resources of others. You must think twice before you judge others. You must try to see beyond their faces to the real people. A portion of my troubles with the surgeon I wrote about stemmed from the fact that I did not make any attempt to see below the surface of his outward appearance. I believe that everyone has hidden resources. The tragedy is that so often people do not take trouble to unearth them. I have seen again and again in clinic and hospital ward people called hopeless and misfit, people called bum and no good, turned into constructive people when someone offered, just one person showed a little interest and faith in them, just a little interest and faith. I know at times that's very difficult to do. Inhibition can keep you from reaching your full resources. A youthful insurance salesman from Texas came to see me a few years ago. He spoke articulately and was a good-looking man, but it soon was obvious to me that he was too cautious to hide the full intent of his ability, both from himself and from other people. He told me about his flight at speaking before groups of other salesmen. Just a minute. I believe we have someone showing up. And good morning, Reverend Dave. Are you in the house yet?
I'm here. I'm turning on my camera.
Ah. I was reading as usual. How's your day been?
Good. A little frustrating. I've been trying to download WhatsApp so I can correspond with a girl in Ghana. Usually I say Ghana's bad news and don't want to mess with that. And usually they say, why don't you send me money so I can come to America and be your good friend? But this one seems to be a Christian, and she's not asked me that.
Well, that's pretty cool. I did see your video this morning, so I know that you've got something today at 4 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to make that.
Okay. I'm going to show how to purchase the gift cards.
Okay, that'll be cool.
I'm screen to do that, so should work well. Are you recording now? Yeah, I see you recording.
Yep, I'm recording because I start a little bit earlier simply
Mm-hmm.
because I had to basically reboot my computer. My power went out about midnight last night, and it was
Mm.
out for about 3.5 hours. It got down to about 67 degrees in here, so it got a little cold.
Mm.
As you can see, I got my jacket on because still hasn't quite warmed up to where I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an interesting morning, and of course, then I ended up almost oversleeping because I was up myself for about 3.5 hours. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, when the power came back on, I went back to bed. I thought I'd sleep for about an hour, and I ended up sleeping for about 3 hours.
Okay.
So by the time I
Well, I'm
got
glad
up,
I didn't call you then.
yeah. So by the time I got up, threw my pants on, it was time to get started here.
Okay.
Anything
Well,
else?
no, I just trying to keep between the lines, trying to help as many people as I can while I can, and uh, just trying to um, see what I can do with the new site. I'm
Yeah,
still looking at it, and
I've been in there every day and playing with it. And of course, like you know, I already got my password finally changed and corrected.
Mhm. Good.
Uh, I did take a look at the cards. Like you said, Walmart's only 1%. I do believe that will change once they uh, find out that people are going to, participate. And that's a big part of it,
Yeah.
participation.
Well, Joe Matthews put an interesting post on Facebook, and he said Walmart does over 100. I think he said $100 million or 100. It might be $1 billion every month
Holy cow.
from sales.
Yeah.
And if we get 1% of that, that's still $1 million.
Yes, it is.
Or I guess it's $100 million a month. And
Wow.
so, and so, if we get 1% of it, it's like $1 million a month to the profit pool. So that would be cool.
That would be cool. Well, anyway, I'm going to go back to reading, and having you here gives opportunity to jump up and jump in and reference or say something about what we've read.
Okay, I can't stay though. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got to run off, huh?
I got another call at noon.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, stay as
but
long as you can.
yeah, I will. I'll stay for 15 minutes.
All right. Well, we left off. I started with it's called Clear Thinking, and we started with the concentration, and now I think I'm up to tapping hidden resources. So I'll
Okay.
go back to reading, and then we'll go from there and see if anybody else shows up. And if you have to leave, I understand.
Sandy might come. She said she wanted to come.
Yeah, and I hope she does drop in, even if it's just for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go back to reading. Of course, like I've said before, if my head's down, it's because I'm reading.
It's okay.
All right, here I go. He told me about his fright at speaking before groups of other salesmen. He always hesitated to express himself at these meetings. Inhibited, he would sit and listen as others talked. But then he was asked to address a large conference of salesmen to share one of his experiences with them. He stood up to face the audience. He told me, and then he fainted. What were you so afraid of? I asked him. I thought I would make a mistake. Boy. He said, then all other fellows would lose their respect for me. I told him that he would still be a good man even if he did make a mistake. Parenthesis, or many mistakes. And that if he could disinhibit himself and unearth his hidden resources, he would feel so much richer as a person. And I might have added a person who can think more clearly because he is less frustrated and less fearful and more in command of his reality. Now, on to number 7.
Robert, didn't you say you used to belong to Toastmasters?
Yes, I did. I was president of Toastmasters for one whole year up in Tahoe.
Cool.
Yeah,
So you got used to public speaking.
I did. Although, I don't know if I said it earlier, but, and I do like to say this because sometimes when people hear you and see you, they think, oh, well, that's you. Well, when I was in high school, they had a term called wallflower. And I used
Yep,
to
I
tell
remember.
people, yeah, and I used to tell people I wasn't the wallflower. I was the person behind the paper.
Oh, dear.
And so people can't comprehend just exactly how these books and all these things that I'm reading have helped me over the years, and where I'm at today compared to where I was 40 years ago is an astronomical jump. So I'll quit patting myself on the shoulder and continue to read.
Okay. I'm going to
Uh,
go away very briefly. I've got to go get my Vengo,
oh, okay.
but I'll be back.
Number 7, habit of self-discipline. Clear thinking is also disciplined thinking. Self-discipline seems to be in discredit today, and yet the undisciplined person does not know where he is going. Discipline, indeed, can make the difference between your potential and your actuality. You cannot allow a total anarchy of your thoughts. You must set goals through which you channelize your thinking. You must set limits within which you concentrate on your powers. You must set boundaries to separate empathy and self-interest. For clear thinking, even though at times latitude and freedom are essential, you still need a framework of self-discipline. You must make a habit of this. Number 8, imaginative development of your power. You must use your imagination to develop the kind of willpower that will lead you to success and more success.
Is that a word you can use in polite company?
I'm sorry?
Imaginative? Is that a word you can use in polite company?
You must use your imagination to develop, I guess I didn't say it right, did I?
No, that's okay. You said for the heading.
Yeah. Oh,
Imaginative. I said, is that a word you can use in polite company? I was making a joke, and you
okay.
didn't laugh. It must not have been funny.
Yeah, number 8, imaginative. I may not be pronouncing it right, but that's all right.
You did. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, while I got it on my mind, I'm going to make a short little break here just to let people know. Because I want to encourage people to come back. And like I said, if people would jump into the Magic12 and kind of get used to, doing it, and if they were just to watch me for a whole year, they're going to actually have read 7 to 12 different books.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mentioned that before. Now, I got a book here that one may not even be able to get anymore because it's an old book. I don't know if you remember this gentleman. I'm going to put this up here. The Amazing World of Kreskin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he had a TV show, and I used to watch him.
Wow.
And, you know, you would think that he had some extraordinary powers. But when you read the book, it's all about knowledge. And I think that's a part of the thing that I really believe is important in what I'm doing here. It's all about knowledge. And so that will be the book that we will start on when I finish this one.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw that in there just because if somebody happens to come on and watches it, then they'll get a preview of what's coming next.
Cool.
So anyway, I think I'll start over on number 8 and we'll continue.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay. I love it. My teacher that teaches me what I never learned when I was in school.
That's okay.
Number 8, imaginative development of willpower. You must use your imagination to develop the kind of willpower that will lead you to success and more success. Go to your closet and get out your motion picture projector. I might add, if you have one, or do it in your mind. Now flash the pictures on the screen of your mind. What do you see? You see success pictures, our features for today. The knockout punch of the leading heavyweight prize fighter, an actress so involved in her role that she brings tears to your eyes, a politician staking his reputation on a speech in which he takes a bold, affirmative stand, a great pitcher unwinding and firing, striking out his man, and winning the ball game. The two double features for winners. You must use such imagination to project into your mind success pictures of yourself, to develop your will towards success, to build your power to an increased success. You see in your mind again and again your past successes and your good moments. Properly using your imagination, you build your self-image and pave the way for clear thinking. I'm going to stop there and share something that a lot of people may or may not be aware of, changes that I've made from other books that I've read. So I want to give you an example because it really impressed success on me. I was reading a book that said that if you do it in your imagination, it can come to reality. So I tried something that this individual said. I was at a friend's place and we were playing horseshoes. And we got into a discussion about what I had been reading. And he said, well, Mr. Frank, there's no way in hell that you can do that. And I said, I'll be willing to bet you $20 I can. And he said, okay. So what I did was I had him blindfold me. And within my mind's eye, with my imagination, I threw the horseshoe to the post, blindfolded. Now I want to tell you that I won the $20 because I made 3 ringers.
Wow.
Blindfolded. That day, that made me realize that all these things I've been reading and all these concepts work. And that's one little success that I keep in my mind all the time, because that little success, which may seem minor, but to me it's like blowing the lid off the top of a volcano, proved to me that if you follow the directions in these books, it works. It simply works. That's all there is to it. Anyway, number
I have
9.
to go, Robert.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
I
And
hope to see you at 4.
I'm gonna do my best to be there, and I hope maybe Sandy or anybody else pops in before I finish up here.
Right, I announced it, so hopefully we have some other people that can come.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And if not, I'll continue reading, and then I'll record it, and then I'll put it in YouTube, and then I'll loop it. And the first one I put in there has already been looped 44 times.
Yes, I saw that. I watched it again yesterday.
Cool. And on each one of those, if you scroll down, I don't know if you did that, but I have made comments about when we have the meeting and different little sayings that I've picked up here and there that I think are important.
Okay.
All right. You have a great one, and I'll see you later this afternoon.
God bless you, my friend. I love you, man.
God bless you. I love you. All right. To continue, number 9, nostalgia for today. Your nostalgia is not for yesterday, but for today. Each day you aim at self-improvement, and you aim at improving the clarity of your thinking. You see the past in proper focus, but you do not live in the past. You use the past to learn from the past mistakes, not to escape from the present. My quote briefly: I have learned and believe that I have taken an attitude that I love mistakes. I just love them to pieces. Because every time I make a mistake, I learn to do something that I shouldn't have done. And I try to make a note of the fact that I've done that. And by doing so, I proceed to the next step of not making that mistake again and proceeding forward to a much better clarity and clear thinking. Back to the book. You have lived through heartaches and tragedies. I have too. You cannot forget. Perhaps you cannot. Still, you can use substitutes to forget. You utilize today to concentrate on your goals and then have less time to obsess yourself with the tragedies of yesterday. Now and then, if you must, walk into a room of yesterday where on the walls you catch glimpses of your old joys and sorrows, but only for a short time. Then return to today. This is clear, creative thinking. Number 10, knowledge of direction. When you strike a golf ball, you know the direction of its flight. I hope you do anyway. You must also know the direction of your thinking. If, as a daily goal, you set yourself the task of thinking about your finances, it will do you little good if you get trapped in resentment at your boss, humming TV commercials, and remembering some irrelevant anecdote you heard a few days before. While reading this book, I took a break and happened onto a television play about a great power blackout. I believe it referred to the one that hit the East a few years ago. It was about a group of people stranded in an office building during the blackout conditions and about their often negative attempts to adjust to it. I write about my own experiences with the power blackout in Creative Living for Today, so I won't describe them again. I live on the 18th floor of a building in mid-Manhattan, and had some time, in quotes, without elevator running, getting downstairs to grab a taxi to catch a plane. But this play brought to my mind once again the overwhelming impact of living with darkness, without emotional elimination and without a sense of direction. For you must know where you are going. To think clearly, you must dissolve emotional blackout and focus your sense of direction. This is basic. Reflection is a key step in achieving direction and thus in clarifying your thinking. Make use of your spare time to relax and reflect, to line yourself up and put yourself in order, where you are and where you are going. This is time well spent. Number 11, integrity. Integrity is the heartbeat of clear thinking. Integrity involves even more than honesty. For honesty can involve only a passive acceptance of what is right and what is wrong, while integrity involves an active seeking out of truth, both internally and in relation to other people. A person who has integrity can afford to think clearly, feeling no need to be evasive with himself or with others. He has no need to waste time sweeping dirt under the rug, since he has nothing to hide. I read an article in my newspaper recently which spoke eloquently of the integrity of an individual. A white baseball executive, this man, executive of Major League Baseball club, hired Satchel Paige, the great Negro pitcher, whose main days of powerlessness came before Negroes could play in the major leagues. He hired this person in his 60s to pitch and in other capacities so that Page could serve some more major league time. He had pitched in the big leagues for a short time in the twilight of his career and qualified for a retirement pension. To pitch in his 60s, this transcends even the racial implications. However, and involved simple human integrity that his executive pursued truth and felt for another human being and insisted on self-respect for a man who as an athlete had earned it. Build integrity in yourself and you are on the way to clear, creative thinking. Number 12, the new nucleus of faith. Even if it is new, even if you have doubted yourself in the past, your belief in yourself will give you confidence. That is so very true. And this will help you to think clearly and creatively. Build this faith in yourself, but don't expect too much. You cannot expect yourself to build a towering faith in yourself like a Franklin Roosevelt or a John Kennedy or like a Churchill or an Eisenhower, but a new nucleus of faith in yourself that is reasonable in terms of who you are and a faith in others too. On a visit to the West Coast, I delivered a lecture in Spokane, Washington. It was a pleasant experience. I was in a good mood and my audience was appreciative. afterward, an attorney came up to the lectern platform and invited me to come with him to his home. He was consulting with 4 couples who intended to get divorces. They had been among my audience, and they were trying to improve themselves. The attorney was trying to save the marriages. Certainly, I said, I hope we can help them. The attorney's home was comfortable, and the conversation may have been a little strained, but there were attempts at communication, or so it seemed to me. Then one of the husbands went to the bathroom and I overheard his wife say, "Yes, yes, I forgive him, but I cannot forget." Now, this is no nucleus of faith. It is no form of real forgiveness either. And it is not only no nucleus of faith in her husband, it also indicates a lack in herself to begin with. What you need is a belief in yourself and in others too. One that is with a full heart, and this will lead you toward clear thinking, which is essence and a reflection of your ability to find peace of mind. Number 13, growth as a human being. All these components of clear thinking mean growth as a human being. In clear thinking, in purposeful doing, you grow and react out toward self-fulfillment. You reach out toward maturity, security, happiness, and inner peace in an interreactive process which flows to and from clear, rational, clear thinking. This completes our analysis of the components of clear thinking. We have spelled them out for you. Now spell them out for yourself as they apply to your individuality. And I will stop there. And I will mark the book. And we will continue on Tuesday, starting with your search for fulfillment. Now, in closing, I just would like to say that I hope everybody has a great day. I hope that reading from Think and Grow, from Psycho-Cybernetics, that it may be helpful to you in whatever it is that you're doing. I pray for your success, and I also pray that you have a great day and your family, and all of those things that are extremely important to you. And so we will see you next time. And always remember, what you want to do is look for Magic12. Magic12 is, you go to YouTube, search Magic12. You probably have to scroll down through a lot of magic trick type videos, but I'm sure that you eventually will find me. I thank you very much for those that showed up, and I hope that those that do see this, it will benefit them in the future. Amen. Thank you very much, and you all have a great and wonderful day.